Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gretchen Hidell here on Facebook Live. I'm trying to get also onto Instagram Live, and it's kind of being weird. So welcome if you're just joining me here tonight. Gretchen Hidell, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I'm here to talk about this week in astrology, the week of April 26th all the way until May 2nd. So welcome if you're just joining me live tonight, and we are here to talk about the supermoon. Okay, so if everybody is joining me, go ahead and say hi, like and share, and you know I love to hear where you're tuning in from and also what your astrological sign is. We're here tonight talking a lot about Scorpio, but there's a lot of astrological activity, and if you guys remember me talking at all about, I've been talking about this week for almost a month now. I'm just letting you know. So this is going to be a big action-packed adventure tonight. So welcome if you're just joining me here live tonight on Facebook, on Instagram Live. Go ahead, like and share with your friends. And I'll also be posting this after the live event is over on YouTube. So welcome. And if you haven't liked me on YouTube yet, you're missing out. So go ahead and like me on YouTube as well, because I have a very unique name. I'm the only person on there. So Corbin, Scorpionic as well. Andrea, yes. Supermoon in Scorpio. Courtney, Taurus in Colchester. Vermont, welcome. Corbin, Atlanta. Angel, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Angel, Leo, Marianne, yes, you just came in from looking at the moon. That's so wonderful. Lady Abigail K on Instagram said Taurus, Sun, Taurus rising, Venus, and then Virgo moon. Welcome. Iris, hello Iris, Aries in Vermont. Darlene, the moon is gorgeous. Darlene's a Taurus, I happen to know, in Vermont also, so welcome Darlene. Maggie, yes, double Virgo friend here. Stars 10 in San Clemente, California, welcome. And Kristen, Sagittarius in Vermont. So we have a lot of people, see, from all over. I love that. And lots of signs. It sounds like we have a lot of fixed signs on tonight. I'm going to be talking a lot about fixed signs. And Katrina, Sagittarius in Maine. Colette, hello, hello Astro friends. I love the community that has been sort of growing here, where people can like kind of talk to each other and stuff during the broadcast, which I think is fun. Okay, so we are in the middle, literally right now, of the supermoon, okay? So the height of it, the peak of it, the maximum capacity of it is going to be in about almost an hour, no, actually 2 hours, at 11:32 p.m. Eastern time on Monday night on April 26th. And then, of course, 8:32 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast. And if you live in a different time zone, just adjust. It's not... people for some reason think it's different times. It's just whatever it is compared to your time in Eastern time or whatever. So welcome Jane Moon Wolf, happy birthday, everybody. Wish Jane Moon Wolf happy birthday on Facebook. Salda 777, love that. Taurus, she did the emojis, I love that. Taurus, Sun, Scorpio moon, man, you're in the middle of this one big time. And then Gemini rising, so welcome everybody. And yes, Darlene, welcome. It's your birthday too. Jane Moonwolf and Darlene. So if you guys can post happy birthday to Darlene and Jane Moonwolf. Darlene is also an astrologer, and she's a healer, and she does a lot of wonderful things too. So welcome everybody. So this is definitely the time, okay? So this big full moon is, I keep saying big because it's the first full moon of 2020, supermoon of 2021. It's called the pink moon, which I think is so sweet because of, it's April and all that good stuff. It's also called the worm moon, the egg moon, there's different names for the moons. But yes, welcome if you're just joining live. And so it's going to be at 7 degrees Scorpio. So for sure, if it's your birthday, this is right up in your chart for sure. If it's your birthday, and then also if you're born around this week, if you're a Taurus or if you're a Scorpio, you're going to be feeling this maximum capacity. You're going to be what I call ground zero of this full moon. So welcome everybody. Monica, yes, happy birthday to Darlene. Andre, you were just with Chris. Oh, that's so cool. Welcome. Yes, Christopher's a Scorpio. So he's going to kill me because I said that live on Facebook, but whatever. We won't tell him. Shh. Katrina, yes, said happy birthday to birthday girls. Sell to birthday tomorrow. See, we have a lot of birthdays coming up. So you guys are ground zero, but it doesn't matter if you're a Scorpio or if you're a Taurus, doesn't matter, because we'll still be feeling all of this energy like big time. Okay, so if you are a fixed sign, so let's say you're an Aquarius or a Leo, okay, you'll be feeling that as well because this is in the fixed signs. But we all remember from my teachings that I've been teaching you all, we all have one of the 12 signs in each of our charts. So it depends on where Scorpio falls within your astrological chart. Specifically 7 degrees Scorpio falls in your astrological chart, in order to know how this will affect you on a personal level. But I'm going to go over what the deal is with Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed sign, like I said, fixed. Like fixed, not going anywhere, aka stubborn. Oh, did I say that? I didn't say that. Scorpios, don't sting me, okay? But fixed signs, okay, are fixed. Also, it's a water sign. Even though it's a scorpion, it's a water sign. And so that's deep emotional, psychological processes, anything that's sort of deep beneath the surface, like Phoenix rising, anything that's like lying under the surface. Okay, so submarines, your basement, anything that's kind of lurking below. Okay, that's the deep dark places is all very scorpionic. And so that's why it's very much associated with being a detective, being a researcher, being like any time you have to go real in depth on something. I've seen Scorpios be teachers, anything where you have to kind of do a deep dive on something. That's not a skimming sign where they just kind of flit over things. They really, really go into deep into something. So it's deep psychological processes, and it's all that, like, scorpionic sort of stuff. If you think of, for example, Beyonce, she's a Virgo, but she has a Scorpio moon. So like, it's like anything that's deep. So deep beneath the surface and psychological. It's also associated with the sexual organs of the body. Okay, so it's the ovaries, it's the uterus, it's the prostate, it's testicles, it's the voiding of the body. So it's bladder, it's anus, it's like that whole fun stuff. It's all that stuff. So basically that's what the deal is with Scorpio. So we want to be able to experience ourselves, our sexuality. That's where the root chakra is also located in the body. If you think about it, it goes into like the root chakra and also the sacral chakra a little bit. Scorpio, so that's that deep, deep red and that orange. I don't usually bring my stones out right away, but definitely when you think of that deep red or that orange kind of color, is very scorpionic. I have a I think this is a ruby, it's a garnet. But any of those types of stones that are that deep sort of red color, and that's all scorpionic as well. So it's the hidden side, the taboo side, the private side. So when we think about all of that, this is a time to express our passions. This is also a time where hopefully we feel safe, but sometimes if you don't feel safe, if you have like something going on with your root chakra, think about the root chakra. Safety and security can sometimes mean physical safety, like you don't know where you're going to sleep tonight. That would be very much a root chakra thing. You don't know if you have enough food. You don't know if you have whatever, but a lot of safety is also associated with money in the area of that body. So if you don't feel safe, if you have past trauma, sexual trauma for sure, can be associated with that area. So all that stuff kind of comes up when it's a Scorpio full moon, especially a supermoon. We're going to be feeling a lot more of this type of stuff. And this is the time we want to have the deep talks. This is the time we want to deep dive into something. This is the time where we don't want to necessarily be light and fluffy. We want to like connect and really go there. This is the time where people might want to have a talk. Okay, so I don't know if you guys experienced any of that over the weekend. We had a lot of very complicated astrological energy, really like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now even into Monday, and then even tomorrow. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, Pluto is going to go retrograde. Now, you guys know from my astrological teachings that every sign has a planet that powers up that sign. And the planet that powers up Scorpio is Pluto, and that's going retrograde tomorrow. So now we have some more Plutonic, Pluto type stuff, Plutonian kind of energy that's really powerful. So it's definitely, Wendy Martin said, Scorpio's in her 7th house. So partnerships, yes, partnerships are going to be your area that's really affected, romantic partnerships. And that could feel a little intense, Now, when I say intense, it's really like, does it have to be bad? No, it doesn't have to be bad, but we're going to feel it deeply. Some people feel that feeling things deeply is bad. So if you're one of those people, if you're uncomfortable with feelings and emotions and really like processing deep things, you're going to have a harder time with the energy versus somebody who I kind of like to deep dive onto things. And I like to, a lot of my best friends are Scorpio. I won't say all, but a lot of my best friends are Scorpios. And some of my very most significant relationships in my life have been with Scorpios. So I tend to be a person that likes to deep dive. I have a Pisces moon, so that gets along with a Scorpionic. So if you are a water sign, by the way, Cancer or Pisces can totally hang with this energy. It's not foreign energy to a Pisces or a Cancer, because it's that deep, water is always about deep feeling. Okay, so we got a couple people. Oh, Courtney Collins, tomorrow is your birthday. Happy birthday. We got a lot of birthday people, so if everybody wants to wish Courtney happy birthday and like her stuff, that's cool. Holly said Scorpio, Jupiter is in Scorpio in your chart. Yeah, so that's good. So basically, it's one of those things. Days with Jenny on Insta said, Ethan Capricorn. Oh yeah. Sun and Moon in Sagittarius. Wow, that's double Sag. Brother Light. Love is the energy that will see us through the Scorpio transmutation. Yes, it is. And so we need to have, some sort of objectivity is not really a Scorpio thing. I mean, being objective, being disconnected or disassociated, that's not the Scorpionic way. It's to go deep into the feeling, deep down into the feeling, and then really chew on it. And a lot of Scorpios I know love to do analysis, psychoanalysis of themselves, of their friends, just like always going through processes. Now, when we think of a full moons are about letting go. Scorpio moons are about letting go. So this is like, remember when I was talking about the Aries new moon being like really strong new moon, because new moons are about new things, Aries moons are about new things, so that's double newness. This is about double releasing. I would say out of all the full moons of the year, this is really like the letting go full moon. So if you have something you want to let go, and you have time, because the height of it is going to be tonight on Monday, but that's going to start off a new 2-week long cycle. You can release things not just on the full moon, but the period of time between the full moon and the next new moon, which is going to be on May 11th, and that will be in Taurus, double new moon there. Sun and moon will be in Taurus on that day on May 11th. So between now and May 11th, you can still release, let go, purge, get rid of, Get rid of that toxic relationship. Get rid of debt. Get rid of clutter. Get rid of anything that you want to get rid of, like an unhealthy habit. Get rid of that. Okay, this is the time of being reborn. So when you think of the scorpionic, sort of association, Scorpio is one of the most interesting signs because it does have three sort of animal kind of associations with it. It has obviously the scorpion, little pinchers and little, pointy tail there that will sting you. And then it's said to be associated with the gray lizard, or sometimes people will say the serpent. Now, if you think of a lizard or a serpent, right, they have to shed. They have to shed layers. They have to shed their skin and be reborn again. Scorpio is all about sort of letting go and being reborn, letting go and being reborn. I feel like it's a very difficult sort of sign. I watch my Scorpio friends go through this like constant rebirthing process, and it's really, some of it's more, we'll say hardcore than other Scorpios, but most Scorpios are always about like sort of regenerating, because it's Phoenix rising, right? So it's burning down. If you think of Pluto, Scorpio's ruling planet, Pluto is like a forest fire. It burns everything in the ground and then new life grows up, okay? And that's basically what the Scorpio moon is about. Now, again, the height of it is on Monday, but for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be letting go. So really think about what it is you want to let go. And we're going to get some extra help with that. I can't stop talking about Pluto when I'm talking about all this, because we're going to get extra help with that. On Tuesday, tomorrow, Pluto is going to start its retrograde cycle at 4:04 p.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that if you're on the West Coast. But so that's basically going to be the thing. So Phoenix rising is going to be the theme, especially in this next 2 weeks. Okay, but from the time, and if you get confused, people sometimes get confused between the new moon and the full moon. The new moon is about manifesting. Think new. You want to bring new things into your life. The full moon is the fullness. It's the peak. It's the height. There's nowhere to go from here. We're already at the top of the summit. So there's nowhere to go but down, right? So the moon is maximum, and then it loses the light through the next 2 weeks. So as you go in the next 2 weeks, you can continue. Now tonight, of course, is the height, the peak. So if you want to burn your new moon manifestation list, okay, and let that go, okay, that's why we burn our manifestation list, or shred it, or put it, rip it up into tiny pieces and put it in the trash, okay? You're releasing it because you're trusting in your spirit guides, you're trusting in God, you're trusting in the universe to be able to let, you're kind of like not in control. And that's what Scorpio is all about. Now, Scorpios themselves, a lot of Scorpios I know have big time control issues. But really it's about constantly having to let go and just trust and let go. If you think of the planet of death, okay, death, rebirth, transformation is Pluto. And that's what the sign of Scorpio is about. It's constantly regenerating. So a lot of Scorpios have to kind of get through that stuff in their lifetime, letting go, trusting and letting go and trusting, because they're constantly being asked to let go. Now even if you're not a Scorpio, you're going to have some aspect or some degree of needing to sort of let go and let God, okay, or trust your spirit guides or whatever. But that's basically what the deal is with Scorpio. So letting go of something, okay, just, being able to release, and being able to be conscious about it. Maybe there's, like I said, an unhealthy habit or clutter, or Monica said, get rid of clutter. Yes. Wendy Martin said, do we burn our list tonight? Yes. 11:32 p.m. Eastern time, or 8:32 if you're on the West Coast. Courtney Collins, happy birthday. Yes, everybody's wishing her happy birthday. So, Brother Light said, people, energy, and events that no longer serve one's highest good. That's exactly right, dear brother. Letting go of that and letting go of whatever trauma is going on. I will just tell you, I have had to let go of a lot of things. A lot of us have had to over this last 2020, right? Although 2020 was about letting go. And if you think about 2020, guess what planet was super active last year in 2020? Well, it was Pluto. Like super active. Like all year I was talking about Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn. And Pluto was all about letting go, letting go, letting go. And so a lot of us have had to let go of things in our life over this last year. So this is another layer, just saying, okay, let's clean up. Maybe there's a final few little things of clutter, okay, just kind of cleaning up. So it depends on what area of the chart this falls within in order to know how it'll affect you. But the sun and the moon are always opposite during the full moon. So the sun's in Taurus and the moon is in Scorpio. Taurus is all about see it, hear it, feel it, touch it, smell it. Okay? It's that realness. It's the real life stuff. Where Scorpio is about the mystery. It's the unknown. Okay, it's the ghouls and the goblins, okay, in the middle of the night. It's all about that stuff. It's where Taurus is all about financial, material items, because you can see it, hear it, feel it. It's your boat, it's your car, it's your plane, it's whatever thing you materially connect with. And so sometimes Scorpio has an association with something letting go. Wills, trust funds, life insurance policies are associated with Scorpio because it is the planet of death. So sometimes that's like financially things that you can get, or something that's like getting money from another source. So there is a little secondary thing with money with Scorpio. It's not the primary thing, but with Taurus being highlighted also, yeah, money could be a thing. And so that's a big, it's a big life lesson. Okay. Wendy Martin said, what does it mean when Neptune's in Scorpio? So everybody's got planets, that might be in Scorpio. Corbin said, Scorpio born on Halloween. Your birthday's Halloween, Corbin. Ghouls, goblins, bring them on, he said. So yeah, that's right. So that's the time of year it is that Scorpios are born. It's during All Souls Day, All Saints Day, the Day of the Dead, Halloween. That's Scorpio season. So if you think about that, sometimes people get an increase in psychic impressions or psychic ability during scorpionic full moons. Sometimes it's possible to have a mediumship type of thing where you can literally connect with a deceased loved one or whatever during a Scorpio full moon, just like Halloween. So I love that, Corbin, you brought that up, even though, and also it's your birthday. But I love that you brought that up because that is a true thing. So Neptune, Wendy, is where you dream. Where's your dreams? Where's your imagination? I would think that Neptune and Scorpio would be kind of dark dreams. Wendy, where I think Holly said that she has Jupiter in Scorpio. Where's her good luck and where's her optimism and good fortune? Well, that's in Scorpio too. That can be quite intuitive, Holly. So that's an intuitive sort of placement. Stars 10 said their moon is in Scorpio. Yes. Oh, Temenos Vermont said, whoops, I already burned my list early. Brother Light, have you been wearing a bunch of dark stones? Yes, black tourmaline and hematite. So stones, like I said, for Scorpio, for sure, are all about the root chakra. So when I do my Reiki classes, I teach Reiki, or pre-pandemic I taught Reiki. I haven't been teaching Reiki since the pandemic started, but when I teach Reiki, I do a very in-depth dive into chakras, and the Scorpio chakra definitely is that sacral and also root chakra. But if you go down even further into the grounding, okay, the feet going all the way down into the ground, you get into the dark colored stones. So yeah, so just like Brother Light said, am I wearing my dark colored stones? I am wearing labradorite tonight and clear crystal, but otherwise, yes, I'm definitely wearing my dark colored stones, onyx, hematite, and I have tons of hematite on here because that's protection. Grounding is the dark colored stones. I'm always talking about that. So jet, hematite, onyx, black tourmaline, shungite. I even have a black kyanite, which is kind of rare, but it's a black kyanite. So yeah, so all of the different dark colored stones are really good during this grounding energy, during this time, because people can feel quite intense. Sometimes people just burst out into tears for no reason around scorpionic stuff because something came up, bubbled up, that needed healing and needed a little work. Okay, when we get a trigger, it's really something that we need to kind of finding a trigger is really something where you located something that you need to be free from, but you're not yet free from. Okay, that's kind of like a way of looking at a trigger. So Temenos, Vermont, yes. For some reason, my Instagram tonight is really dark. I don't know why. I have the same lighting and everything, but it looks dark to me. So I don't know if this helps at all. But so anyway, yes, that's that scorpionic way, and I feel like that's coming. So that's tonight, like I said, 11:32 p.m. and then Pluto. So let's talk about Pluto. Pluto's stationary right now, and we call it stationary retrograde because the planet, just like a car, stops. Okay, so it goes forward, it stops, and then it goes retrograde. Okay, and then it stops, and then it goes forward again. You can't just put a car be going forward and you can't without putting it in reverse without stopping first, right? So you have to, so it's stopped. Okay, Pluto is just kind of not doing anything right now, but it's going to start going retrograde tomorrow, and basically it's going to go at 4:04 p.m. like I said. Now here's the deal. There's some mythology around. I always talk about this with Pluto because I think it's quite fun. But there's mythology around Pluto. Pluto in Greek mythology is Hades, the lord of the underworld. Remember what I keep talking about with Scorpio? Deep beneath the surface? Okay, that's Hades, the god of the underworld. And so Persephone, his partner, they were cursed by Jupiter, who was Zeus, okay? Jupiter said, because Hades had kidnapped Persephone and took her underground to live with him. And she's like this flower goddess, and she was like peace, love, and light hippie man. She had like she's one of the harvest goddesses, okay? So when she is around, things grow. Daisies and tulips and flowers. So it is said in mythology, Jupiter basically cursed Pluto because he said, "How dare you take my daughter?" So what he did was he cursed them that they could never live together at the same time. So the mythology is when springtime comes, Persephone comes up above the ground, and then there's spring and there's summer and everything grows and it's green and it's lush and it's beautiful. And then when she goes underground and Pluto comes up is in the fall, and everything starts dying. When Pluto walks the earth, everything dies. All the leaves fall off the trees, and the birds fly south and all of that stuff. Okay, so that's basically what kind of signifies that springtime is officially here. Not only is it the spring equinox, but it's also when Pluto goes retrograde. Pluto always goes retrograde in the spring. So that's when he's going retrograde, is tomorrow, and we'll officially really start to see Persephone when she comes up, things blooming and flowering and all kinds of stuff. That's basically what the Greek mythology is behind all of that. Astrology uses Roman mythology, but they're all kind of the same people. So that's basically the thing. But Pluto coming up above ground or down below the ground again means that we are going to have to process and figure out things that we need to let go of. That might be a little hard to identify these things. It basically, when Pluto goes retrograde, it's like another thing is coming up. So it just so happens that the Scorpio full moon and Pluto are going retrograde at the same time, in the same like 2 days there, kind of boom, boom. So we're really going to have to be processing something that's coming up that needs to be released relinquish, let go of. It, like I said, and it's usually psychological. And with Pluto and Scorpio, it's usually some psychological thing that we have to kind of figure out from our childhood, or what's your inner critic saying, what's your voice inside your head, that's talking to you, saying, and then sometimes we have to literally process somebody's death or an animal's death. I mean, that is a thing, so we definitely could get, like I said, visitation dreams around this time, messages from the other side, lots of signs and signals, all those types of things. So just be open to spirit connecting with you this week and talking to you and wanting to connect with you. Like, if, for example, like when I see monarch butterflies, that's my grandmom, and like, so, but it doesn't have to just be a real life monarch butterfly. It might be butterflies that are coming to you on a note card or in a piece of paper, or, some sort of a, someone gives you a butterfly earrings or some kind of a thing. That's also a sign from your deceased loved one. It's not just like the live, cardinal or animal that you usually see. So, my lighting is good on your end. Okay, great, Jen. I wasn't sure. Oh, Brian, I'm so sorry. Brian on Facebook said he's still stuck there. I'm thinking you're talking about grief. If you are talking about grief, Brian, I don't know if I said this to you before, but one of the best stones for grief is Aquarius. A lot of times when we feel stuck in grief, it's because we feel that we will never feel the feeling again that we had with an animal or a person or whatever. And it is true. Every person and animal is unique and special. We all have our own unique soul and our own unique vibration. But it's because we feel that that obviously you're going to miss the soul, miss the person, miss the animal, for sure, and their physicality. But a lot of times when we get sort of stuck in it is because we don't think we're going to ever experience that level of joy or happiness or connection that we had, that emotional, feeling. And it's true, it won't be in the same way. But you'll still feel happiness, and you'll still feel joy, and you'll still feel another connection. It won't be the same connection, but, that's part of that learning, okay? Yes. Brother Light asked me if I could send Brian Reiki to heal grief. Of course, yes, of course. But that's kind of the thing. So when you're thinking about your loved one that's deceased, whether it be a person or animal, you want to think about the feelings that you got with that animal, or a person, and then also know that you can get those same feelings, not in the same way, but you can get those same feelings in other ways. And it might even be multiple other ways. Like maybe that person or that animal was so special, they gave you 20 wonderful feelings. And you might have to a la carte those feelings. You might get all 20, but from 20 different sources. So, but it doesn't mean you'll never have those feelings again. And so that's what I would say, is to kind of identify the feelings you want to feel, and then sort of know that you can get those in other ways. It won't be the same, but it'll help. And that's part of the grieving process. And some of it is just sitting with the grief and feeling your grief and crying if you need to cry and talk about it, and that sort of thing. So I hope that helps. And they do actually have grief counselors that specialize in grief. And I think that would even be good too, to talk through some things, because sometimes it's hard. People, when I bring up the word death in readings, not that I don't predict death, but when I talk about this Plutonic, Pluto, Scorpio stuff is death, people, there are a certain percentage of people that go, like they don't, we don't talk about death in our culture enough. I really feel that that's a problem, because every one of us does it. Every one of us dies, and yet we don't talk about it. So that's something that I feel that it's like shocking when it happens in America, especially. Like other cultures have a little bit more it's not as taboo, of a subject. And so, it's something that I feel like it would be helpful to talk about. So welcome everybody who's joining. We have a lot of people joining on Instagram. Wendy Martin said, I would love your feeling on will. See, I'm not sure. She has some typos there. If we see our loved ones once we pass. Of course, yes, Wendy. We see our loved ones when we pass. Absolutely. Absolutely. We start to see them sometimes even before we pass. That's the thing. Yes, Brother Light said talking about grief is so appropriate with the Scorpio full moon. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So if we feel grief, aquamarine is a really great stone if you're feeling grief. Aquamarine is a really wonderful stone. And we have a lot of people that crossed, 3 million people left this planet last year from COVID. That's a lot of people all of a sudden just crossing over. And we saw a lot of births too, but we saw a lot of death, and that's part of the cycle. So yes, we all learned in science, energy never dies. It simply changes forms. Well, that's what happens when we shed our body. Our body is energy, our soul is energy, and our body is just the thing that kind of houses the soul. So our dogs, our cats, our birds, our fish, our turtles, all of our animals and people, grandmother, grandfather, brother, sister, best friends, they greet us on the other side when we basically are crossing over. And yes, then we're in spirit and we're together. So it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing, and we will see them. But they come and see us all the time. It's sort of like a two-way mirror. Like at the bank, where there's a two-way mirror and you're going up and you're doing your hair, and the other people are going, look at, she's doing her hair in the mirror, but they can see us and we can't see them. That's basically what the deal is with spirit. Now, people like myself and other people who can see, feel, hear, smell spirit, and yes, spirit sometimes does come in the form of odor or scents, like cigarette smoke or alcohol or perfume or a flower. There's been a lot of scents that will come from spirit. Something that can identify them in life. If they were a smoker, a lot of times you'll smell smoke after they've passed. So that's basically the thing. So we are never far from spirit at all. They are always coming around us. It's whether we can sort of feel them. Unfortunately, and this is not a punishment thing, I just really want you to hear this. For those of you who are struggling with this, it's not a punishment thing, but grief really, really, really sort of makes us not as open. It creates like I don't know, when I feel grief with people, it's like a fog is around them. So it's almost like it's like a catch-22, because when you're in grief, you want nothing more than to connect with your deceased loved one. And yet, you're having a harder time connecting because you're surrounded by this fog. Okay. So what I would say is work on the grief, and that will basically, once that kind of the acute part of the grief sort of lifts a little bit, then you'll be able to connect more with your spirit, and you'll be able to sense or feel or smell them or dream about them or whatever. But it's a process, and you don't have to rush through it. It's just a process. They're there with you. They're there with you, whether you can feel them or not. If you're in too thick of a grief, they're with you. Trust me, they're with you. So that's a thing. So they're around. It's just hard to feel them. I'll tell you the story of my cat, because I haven't told this story in a while. His name was Yummy. He was a Persian, a blue Persian, beautiful, beautiful cat. But he was dying of kidney failure. And I had him, he was 16 years old for a Persian. That's really an old cat. And I just love this cat so much. And he had kidney failure. So I was basically thinking of putting him down, because he was really, really having like awful, I won't go into all of it, but it was really bad. And he was just failing. But he wasn't passing. He was just like, each day it was getting more and more kind of horrible for him, and I didn't want him to suffer. So I knew I was coming closer and closer to making the decision of having him put down. And I did have a veterinarian come to my house that put him to sleep. But for 3 days prior to him passing, all of a sudden there were all these shadows flying through my house. Now, Yummy lived with 2 other cats and a bunch of other dogs that had all passed. He was like the last one kind of left from that group of pets that I had had. I'm a pet animal person. So all of a sudden there was these I think they were cats because they look like the same size as Yummy. And I was like, one day I was in the kitchen, I was washing dishes, and one went right, like, kind of, I was stepping backwards at the time, and one went right behind me. I almost fell. I literally almost fell because I thought I was stepping on Yummy. And here, it was one of the shadow cats, and I kept calling them shadow cats because they were zipping all through the house. The spirit activity in my house was going crazy. Now, I'm a medium, so I can feel and see and literally see these, the apparitions of the spirit. I can see all that. And I was like, oh my God, like it was going crazy. And then I hadn't even really made the decision yet to put him to sleep. I hadn't done that. But it was like, I guess in the ethers and in the making, Spirit knew. Spirit knows things before we do. So they were all coming in to get Yummy, okay, to get his soul, to greet him, because they loved him. They all loved each other. They all lived together. And once I made the decision, and by the way, the euthanasia was beautiful. Like, I put his favorite blanket on the table, and he had crystals all around him, and it was burning incense, and there was like new age, beautiful music in the background. Like, he had a wonderful passing. As far as, you know, if you have to do it, and they gave him a sedative, and the whole thing was beautiful. All of a sudden, and then they took him because I wanted to have him cremated. And all of a sudden, it stopped. There was no shadow cats at all anymore. They all left. And it was so interesting because they had come to get him. I have goosebumps talking about that. They come to get him. So that's basically one of the things that that I talk about, is that they know before even we knew. I hadn't yet made the decision to do that, to euthanize him, but he was ready. His soul was ready. And when I asked his soul, I talked to his soul and I did cards on it. I got that he wanted to pass. So he was done. He didn't want to be in that body anymore. So he lifted out, and that's basically what the thing is. So I hope that helps. And people might be shocked by the fact that it was all animal souls, but that happens with people too. I mean, people will, like, if your aunt is passing and then her grandmother came and got her, and her mom, and all those different, you know, relatives will come, and our animals too. Our animals come too. So I hope that helps. Brian, and I sort of started talking to Brian, but really that's for everybody, and that's for this Scorpio full moon. Like, when we talk about this, we talk about the souls. So we talk about death, we talk about afterlife, we talk about mediumship ability. A lot of Scorpios I know have mediumship ability, strong mediumship ability. So that is basically the deal. So I hope that helps. And remember that, again, the soul never dies. It simply changes forms. So when the soul leaves the body, it's still in the ethers, okay? And our animals and our human spirit comes in and sees us, and they can see everything. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Wendy said, you gave me goosebumps. Lindsay said, wow, that's amazing. Oh, Gretchen, you're on a birth watch for Kit Kat. Oh my gosh. Send along love and light prayers for the safe delivery of babies. Oh my gosh. Lindsay said beautiful story. Brian said beautiful story. Hugs. Brother Light, who is a jokester, said he used to be a medium, but now he is an extra large. I love that. Yes, grief does teach us very strong very strong life lessons. Wendy said, "What a beautiful affirmation." That's what you always believed. Yeah, that's basically the deal. I've had people know I'm a medium, and then I've had people say, "Do you believe there's life after death?" And I'm like, yeah. Yes, because I see it and I interact with it a lot, you know what I mean? So it's always on the other side. Sabri and Jen, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, on Instagram said, "I have experienced this multiple times. Thank you for putting it into words." You are welcome. Yeah, and you're not crazy. If you have experienced this stuff, I don't believe that I'm, you know, super special. Like, I feel like most of us have some degree of being able to do this. Just nobody talks about it, and everybody invalidates it as like coincidence or some kind of like thing. And it's not that. It's I feel that most of us have these capabilities. Some people have it more than others, but most people do. Oh, Andrea said, "I just had someone close to me who passed." And I'm trying to look around the camera here. And it's a great reminder to hear the story, know that they're still near you. Of course. Yes. 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 Kristen said she's remembering her beloved Shih Tzu. Oh, and that you held him and he was at peace. Yeah, of course, of course. And so I feel like that's something that we all have to pay attention to. So getting into even further and deeper into the week, on Thursday, on April 29th, I can't believe it's the end of April already, we have Mercury forming a sextile with Neptune. Neptune, Poseidon, okay, the god of the ocean. Neptune and Pluto, I don't want to say they're the same, they're sort of different, but boy, they're both super intuitive, now you get a little bit more empathic, a little bit more into this like sort of otherworldly stuff. So we have a Neptune transit coming on Thursday. It's going to be 10:27 p.m. Eastern time. Earlier than that, if you're on the West Coast, it's 7:27 p.m. on the West Coast. But here's the deal. All day on Thursday, we might feel a little bit out of it. Neptune makes us feel a little bit cloudy, a little bit foggy, a little bit fuzzy, a little in la la land, okay? Because remember, it's dreams. Somebody just talked about their Neptunes in Scorpio. Current times, Neptune is in Pisces. So if you're a Pisces, you will feel that big time. And Mercury is in Taurus. So Mercury's how we think, talk, and communicate is going to line up with Neptune. And so, that's increasing, talking about dreams, imagination. It's if you're a songwriter, if you're a poet, if you're a painter, if you're a yogi, if you are in some kind of like non-linear job, this is great. But if, Jan, okay, so the person saying that they have experienced it is a person named Jan on Instagram. Jan is a medium. We have talked about that many times, and she happens to have tons of planets in Scorpio in her chart, so that's kind of interesting, right? Kristen, who is a Reiki master, blessings and hugs to those in grief. Yes, Kristen, for sure. So Neptune is all about illusions, and it can be lies, it can be delusions, but Neptune's being positively aspected. The only thing about Neptune, because it's illusions, we have to remind ourselves on Wednesday going into Thursday, we have to get clarity on what someone's talking about, because we can misunderstand somebody during Neptune transits. Neptune is confusing. Neptune, remember, I always talk about Neptune's confusing. Neptune can make people run late. Neptune can make you super sleepy. Neptune can make you want to blow off everything and take a nap. That is Neptune, okay? So it's not good for linear activity. It's like if you have a super hardcore schedule on Thursday, you might have a little bit of trouble keeping up with that. Or if you have a very linear type job, like let's say you're a tax accountant or some kind of a thing, that's going to be a little hard to concentrate. If you're a technical writer, that might be hard to concentrate. But if you're a novelist, if you're a poet, if you're a painter. Okay, Neptune is like that kind of stuff. It's very like flowy and all that. So Neptune's a little bit better for that kind of stuff. And look, not everything in life is linear. So people who are linear have a harder time in Neptune transits, just to let you know. So whenever you hear me talk about Neptune transits, know that that is like a time when we're a little spacey. But I personally love Neptune transits because, yes, I might be a little not very keyed into linear things, but I'm very, very, very intuitive during Neptunian stuff. So again, that opens up the consciousness. Neptune is our dreams and our imagination and all of the intuition. It's all that good stuff. Lindsay said a close loved one is struggling really hard with panic attacks and anxiety. I can't see the rest of it. Really taking a toll on you and your whole, and then it cuts you off, Lindsay. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to, whole family. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. Well, I know that this is really hard, but there's not really much you can do to make someone feel better like that. You didn't mean to send that yet. I'll pull a card on that, Lindsay, but I want to get through the week first, okay? But come back and remind me. Juliet said, I love napping. I love napping too, but I have Neptune conjunct my Jupiter, and that I'm very nappy. Okay, I'm going to get into Friday. So remember how I keep talking about this whole week has been just, last weekend, so Dear Brother Light asked me if I would be circling back to what happened last weekend, the couple days before this recording. Okay, so on Saturday the 24th, Mercury formed a conjunction with Uranus. And then on Thursday the 22nd, Venus formed a conjunction with Uranus. So Friday on the 30th, which is also Orthodox Good Friday, the Sun is going to form a conjunction with Uranus. And that's going to be on the 30th, on Friday the 30th. Let me just tell you, it's a lot. So it's going to all that's in Taurus. So Venus, Mercury, and now the Sun, all in Taurus, is conjuncting Neptune. I think it's 11 degrees or 10 degrees Neptune, or I keep saying Neptune, Uranus, and that's going to be on Friday. So it's like we go out of this space cadet feeling on Thursday right into Friday, which is like double shot of espresso in your face. And that's going to be very jarring, sort of, and kind of stressful. Now, when I talk about Uranus, I'm always talking about earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. Neptune can be earthquakes and volcanic eruptions too, and they're both going to be active on Thursday and on Friday. Friday is like, so Thursday's panic is space cadet tired. Friday is wired. So it's like we're going from tired to wired, and you can be wired but tired. You know, I mean, that's a thing. Like, you ever get so like you're wired, like it's like if you think of a little kid, like a 2-year-old or something that's like running around being hyper and kind of being a little naughty, but they really need a nap. That's kind of like Friday. So Friday is going to be more more anxiety and panic attack stuff, and it's going to be real intense. So 3:54 p.m. Eastern time is the height of it. Earlier than that if you're on the West Coast, and that's on Friday the 30th. And so anything that's associated with the physical, the electrical system of the physical body, headaches, seizures, migraines, palpitations, heart arrhythmias, like all that kind of stuff. And Uranus is shocking stuff. So, and that's going to form a conjunction. So if you have to do something on Friday, like it's going to be like a lot of energy, and it's just going to be a lot. So we're Thursday, it's almost like we want to take a nap, and then Friday, like we're wired and we're feeling stressed. You know, I mean, that can be a thing. So Uranus is definitely associated with electrical. It's associated with lightning, literally lightning. It's associated, like I said, with tremors, earthquakes, okay, shakeups, unexpected events, shocking news. So that's, Uranus is very activated, and we are not, so whatever started for you over the last week and the weekend of last week is sort of continuing at the end of this week. And that's in Taurus. Taurus, it depends on where in your chart Taurus is. 10 degrees Taurus, okay? But that can be a thing. So it just depends on where that is in your chart and how that's activating you. So again, if you are one of the fixed signs, if you're Taurus, if you're Scorpio, if you are Leo or Aquarius, you will be feeling this extra, extra, extra. So all I can say is, for panic and anxiety or feeling out of it, like it's like almost like we feel lost and then we're panicked after we feel lost. And so that's like not a fun transition. And then kind of highlighting all of these planets again is on Sunday, on May 2nd, Mercury is going to form a trine with Pluto, which I just was talking about, went retrograde. And then Venus is going to form a sextile with Neptune, which I was just talking about can make us feel spacey and out of it. Now, Venus is our love life and Mercury is our talking. So it's almost like, here we go again. We're out of it, and yet we want to get real intense. We're getting real intense about something. So Neptune, I always say out of it with Neptune, but Neptune can be lies. It can be illusions. We might think someone's lying to us and they're not. Or maybe they think they're trying to tell us the truth and they're not telling us the truth. I mean, it can go each way, but it's kind of confused. All this energy is confusing and intense at the same time. So what I would say is, when times like this happen in astrology, I put the big old pause button down, okay? This is not the time to have the big clarifying conversations and the big we got to talk everything out and we got to work it out and I got to figure everything out right now. I was just saying this to earlier to a client. Sometimes when we have this much activity, it's like we think it's almost like there's a tiger in the woods. The tiger's coming to get us. Oh my God, the tiger's going to get us. I'm under attack in some way. And then we get like spinny. So that all of a sudden it's not one tiger, it's 100 tigers are going to come in to get us. And all of it is just too much. So until there's clarity, there's no action. Okay? It's hard to do that because sometimes it's like, well, I just want to have an answer and I just want to figure things out. Look, clarity is going to come. It always does. But what I would say is just kind of put the pause button on if there's so much energy and there's so much confusion. That's really the thing. Because Pluto just went retrograde. It's not really working very properly. And so we want to take a step back and we want to take a pause. And now again, so this doesn't have to be bad. Some of this can be really good. Neptune is very good if you work, like I said, in a creative field. If you teach meditation, if you're an intuitive, if you're a Reiki person, if you're a massage therapist, if you're a yogi, Neptune stuff can be very, very good if you're in that field. Or if you're a spiritual person, if you're literally like a priest, a rabbi, a minister, something that's good. It's just that sometimes when we're in life and we're trying to get, it's like Neptune's aspecting both Venus and Mercury going, let's just let's just write some poetry and take a bubble bath. That's like kind of the thing. And in the middle of it, Uranus is like, no, let's have a double shot of espresso, which is at odds with the bubble bath thing. So there's a little bit of energy here. We're going to be going from tired to wired to tired again. And so I would say ground yourself. Really, that's going to be the best practice. And like I was talking about earlier with the dark colored stones, grounding yourself, kind of getting into the earth, getting into the ground, connecting with nature, taking a walk, all of that stuff will help to ground the energy. I hope that helps. I've been talking about this the last week of April for an entire month now because the last week of April is going to be the hardest week of April. I'll just say that. And so that's why I've been telling people careful when you get shots and medical procedures, because yes, you can time some of this stuff. You really can. And so next month I'll talk about a little bit. We're going to be next month in May, we're going to be entering into eclipse season. So we'll have our very first eclipse, and that's going to be on May 26th. And then right after, the last week of May is going to be a little interesting too, because right after that, that's when we have Mercury retrograde, the last week of May. So I'll be talking about all this stuff as we go, but I like to give you guys a little forewarned is forearmed. So on the 26th, we have the first eclipse. It's a supermoon, and it's like an eclipse, and then we have Mercury going retrograde on the 29th of May. So just to give you guys a heads up, it's going to be an interesting, and we're starting the retrograde season. So remember, all of pretty much February, March, April, I was like, go, 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 go before the planets go retrograde. And now they're all starting to go retrograde. So now we're going to be going, oh, I have to rethink about this or redo this or come up with an alternative plan. That's what retrograde means. So we'll have to like take a deep dive into whatever it is we started during those 3 months. Hopefully you listen to my advice. Okay, so I am going to take some questions or answer some questions. Lindsay, I do want to pull cards for you, my dear, in reference to your family member. And if you guys have any questions that you wanted to ask, now's the time. When do your first farmer's market? May 15th. That's a good day. Moon's going to be in Cancer. Is that? Yeah, May 15th. The moon's going to be in Cancer on that day. That's a good day. It's not, nothing started, nothing's going retrograde on that day, Wendy. All right, so let's see. Okay. So, Lindsay, I'm going to pull a card for you. Lindsay, you feel like you're doing better, though. I'll just say that. Gifts from God. Gifts from God, Lindsay. Okay? Archangel Sandalphon, we angels bring you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive. There's a lot of food stuff going on around you, Wendy. I don't know what it is. It's very interesting. There's a lot of food stuff going on around you, okay? I don't know if you're doing farming still or what you're doing, but like, it's like, I don't know if you're planting and getting like, there's like, it's like food and plants and like chickens and like, I don't know, like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff. I don't know when, Lindsay, if you're even still on. I don't know if you're still on still. Oh, I'm reading some of the, she hasn't said anything. Okay. So Lindsay, yeah, you just, there's a lot of like farming kind of stuff going on around you, Lindsay. Oh, there you go. All right. She said yes. Yeah. You're getting the card of sensitivity. There's a lot of sensitivity going on. Okay. It's making it hard for you because I feel like I don't know how to say this. It's almost like you're feeling guilty, obligated, burdened, like all in one deal. Okay. The card of sensitivity is Archangel Hidell. You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. You have to have good boundaries, Lindsay, and that's part of your life lesson anyway. Okay, is boundaries. But also there's like this like feeling of like I should, there's like I like pressure, this internal pressure that you're feeling like you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. But I really feel like you have to set boundaries around what feels good to you. You're not obligated to heal anybody, to fix anybody. Yeah, I mean, you can be compassionate, but it's not your job to heal them and to fix them. It's each and every one of our jobs to heal and fix ourselves. I'm just saying. So, you know, Lindsay, that's something that we all have to work on. And so sometimes when we are in grief, like it spills out everywhere. I mean, it's like, you know, it spills out. And yeah, you know, it's good to hold space for that person and to help them, but you can't fix them. That's the thing. So sensitivity is the card that you're getting, and you're intuitive, Lindsay. So you're picking up, like, it's almost like you're feeling it as the other person's saying it. Like, so it's hitting you doubly hard. So what I would do, Lindsay, again, dark colored stones for sure, and work on going, this is like, while the person's talking, detach from them, like, this is not mine, I don't have to feel this, I don't have to experience this myself, like, I can just, you know, kind of cut it off, like, because it's almost like you're living it while they're talking. It's called being empathic. And when you're empathic, it's like you can't almost discern between someone else's. So sometimes that also makes us feel like it's like extra. Like, so someone needs you, yes, but then you're feeling it so much, and it's like someone's pulling on your soul. I hope that helps. Kristen, Lindsay, is my niece. Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, well, I hope that helps, Lindsay. I'm sure I could do a deep dive on that, but that's like the basic thing there. Okay. All right, so Stephanie on Instagram, she wrote me a couple messages. I'm trying to see this back here. 8-year-old daughter is an intuitive, asked if she have a message from her uncle. He stayed alone. Oh, she was in the room when he passed away. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, let me do it. Let me look. Oh boy, everybody's... Yes, I'm having a hard time setting boundaries because you feel like, oh, it's your fault. Yeah, honey, you don't have to feel that way. Yeah. Kate said, amen to the empathic thing. Oh, Lindsay's your cousin? Oh my goodness, I didn't know all this. Wow. That's a lot. Okay. All right, Stephanie. You guys are all related. I had no idea. Okay, Stephanie. I'm going to be pulling a card in reference to Teeny's uncle. What does she need to know? Woo. I know you said he had cancer, but did he have lung issues? Did he have something with his lung, or did he have to have a tracheotomy or some kind of a thing going into the chest, into the lung area? Because I feel like there's feels like a lot, like all the way I'm getting like lung up until even the mouth and the throat. But I don't know what kind of cancer that JT had, but it felt like that was involved. Or the other possibility is there might have been a tube that he had to have, because I'm having a little trouble breathing and I'm feeling like a little like, ugh. So, but there was like this, and he didn't like that. So he was ready to go. Like there was like, I don't feel like he liked having all of this. Whole area felt really hard to breathe. So I feel like, I couldn't swallow, and he had stomach cancer. Yeah, it feels like it's all the way going up, even into the mouth and the throat, like in this whole area. But that makes sense. It affected him, and he couldn't, I feel like it was like suffocating him or something. But yeah, if he couldn't swallow, that's like hardcore. Yeah, he didn't like that whole area being affected. I feel like he left her something. I keep feeling like he gave her something or left her something, as far as like, make sure she has this, give this to her. It reminds her of me. So that's basically what the deal is. So I hope that makes sense. But allow yourself to receive is the card, and nurture yourself. Okay. Nurture yourself. So it's interesting. I feel like he really comes around her a lot. I feel like he visits her. I feel like he comes around her, and I feel like it's interesting. I'm seeing a shiny, like metal kind of a thing. I don't know what he gave her, if it was like a cross or if it was some sort of a pocket knife or something, but there was some kind of a shiny metal thing. It was like, it feels like it's around, I don't know, sort of that big. But I think it's gold. I'm not in color, or a brass or some kind of thing. But I feel like he left her that. It was like almost like make sure she gets it. Yeah. So, are you still there? Do you know what I'm talking about? That he left that for Teeny. But he comes around her. I feel like he's part of her spirit team. I feel like he's her spirit guide, her guardian, sort of angel, thing like that. So I feel like that's what the deal is. Nurture yourself is the other card I get. Invest time in self-care, and you'll yield more energy for yourself later. But I do feel that there's that's interesting too. Yeah, he's always around. He's always around, Stephanie. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel. He's talking about there's a namesake though. Was somebody in the family named after him? There's some kind of a name feeling. Oh, he made her a table. No, but there's a thing. There's also a cross thing or something that it's like about this big. But yes, he gave her something. But also, I am feeling that there's a namesake. There's something in the family namesake thing as well. He's talking about that. But he's always around her, especially. I feel him around her. Oh, he's named after your dad. Yeah. He's talking about that. Kate said, Kate's on here. So I guess, Kate said the Christmas ornament. I don't know what that means, but Kate said the Christmas ornament, Stephanie. That's what Gretchen's talking about. That's what you told Stephanie, and that he's always around, and you told her you just need to talk to him. Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to see around my camera here so I can read the whole thing. We have a very professional setup, by the way. So that's basically what the deal is. But I keep seeing him outside. Like, it's almost like he wants to watch her play or some kind of a thing. Like there's I keep seeing this outdoor thing, and I see him watching, but I feel like he is around all the time. But I especially see him like, it's almost like he doesn't want her to be outside alone or some kind of a thing, so he just watches over her. He's going to be like a guardian angel, which is really cool. It's like a spirit guide, guardian angel. We were talking a lot about mediumship tonight and guardians, so I hope that helps. I really super run over tonight. So I'm going to pull one card for, like, that's a group card, basically a collective card. I hope that answers your question, Stephanie. Kate is your childhood best friend. Oh, that's so cool. Love that. I love that. So we got the whole family on here. We got everybody on here. So I'm going to pull one card, okay, that's going to be a collective card, a card that's for everybody, okay, for the week. What can we know? There's always a butterfly that hangs at the edge of your yard. That's interesting. That's so cool. Yeah, because I feel like he's always out with her. Okay, so what do we need to know? What is spirit guides, guardian angels? Spirit guides, our deceased loved ones. Okay, what do they need us to know about this week? The full moon energy. We have lots of like sleepy, and then the double espresso coffee energy. It's like up and down. What do we need to know? What's the best thing that will help us to navigate this week ahead and be able to get us to be successful? Because that's really what we want, is we want to be successful. Woo! Okay. Oh, yeah. I figured this was coming. Sensitivity. Okay, this is the card of sensitivity. If you guys can see it here, I'm using my Archangel Gabriel deck. Okay, your sensitive feelings are your muse and inspiration for your creativity. So remember what I said, especially about the end of the week. It's better for creativity than it is for linear. So even if you are a linear person, you have deadlines and schedules and calendars and everything's alphabetized and organized, okay, you need to get into your feelings and connect with your feelings, because sometimes our feelings are not bad. I know sometimes when we cry, we feel sad, we feel alone, we feel whatever we're feeling, depressed, anxious, okay, our feelings are just, They're just feelings. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are feelings. But we have to feel the feelings and go through the feelings. You can't skip over feelings, okay? When we skip over feelings, that's what we do when we are, let's say, alcoholics or drug addicts. They, skip over feelings, okay? That's, we're trying to numb out feelings. But this is saying to be sensitive and to feel our feelings. And yes, the veil is going to be thin this week. And the veil meaning between us and spirit, okay? If we're sensitive, we can feel that. And that's not a bad thing. Nobody wants to see a ghost, and I understand that. But you might want to see your deceased loved one. You might want to feel your deceased loved one. You might want to hear their messages or talk to them or get that feeling, okay, of like, a little goosebumps, a little chill, okay? That's usually a deceased loved one. So we need to be open and also sensitive to that. So sensitivity, a lot of times we think of sensitivity as a bad thing, but actually in my world, sensitivity is a good thing, because that means, that you're like you're more open to the energies. So I hope that helps. Jane Moon Wolf said, as always, deeply absorbing sparkly wisdom from you. Magic abounds. Love to you. Love to you. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Wendy said I could spend months with you. Kristen said, thank you, Gretchen, for your insight and gifts. Aww. Kate Burrell said, that's exactly what you told Stephanie. That's awesome. Listen to your intuition. Crystal said, thank you. As always, vivid dream. Yes, Monica, there you go. Vivid dream. Yeah, exactly. So that's being sensitive, okay? Sensitive means that we could actually even feel, okay, the other side and all that. And that's not a bad thing. It's not. So I hope that helps everyone. I'm sorry I ran a little over tonight, but make sure you like me on YouTube. And if you have any friends that would benefit from that wisdom, go ahead and send it to them. As always, if you want to have a personalized astrological session with me, a mediumship session, an intuitive session, because I do it all in one. That's like my reading is all one big happy ball of this, basically all of my insights and gifts. I don't separate it out a la carte. It's all just packed into whatever I feel is necessary and coming to me at that moment. But if you know someone that would benefit, feel free to have them text me is the best. I still haven't gotten my online scheduler yet, but you can have them text me or send me a DM. I'm the only Gretchen Hidell on the internet. Okay, everybody, like and share, and thank you so much. Blessings to you all. Happy, happy full moon in 1 hour. Okay, go burn your new moon manifestation list.